2:55 p.m. December 13th.
You have reached the Glenwood Police Department. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. To reach a city officer, press 6. Or to leave a voicemail for Chief Dale Danter, press 5. Please hold while your call is being transferred to Glenwood Police Department.
I'll probably go to the sheriff's office.
I should just pick Dale Danter's one.
I want to leave a message.
Leave a message.
Glenwood Sheriff's Office.
Hi, I just called the Glenwood City Police. Do they, when they're not in, it rolls over to the...
They should be there. I just talked to them a little bit ago. What did you need help with?
Well, it was just a question for the police department, but it must have rolled over to you, so... So I'll just try him back
later.
later.
You want to try him one more time? Like I say, no, Estelle's over there.
And what time do they close?
I can't remember how late she works. She works till 4 or 3:30.
Okay.
Like, I called her just a few minutes ago.
Okay,
Do you just need to talk to an officer, or?
No, I'm just trying to find out some procedural stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to try one more time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. 2:58, calling the Glenwood Police Department back.
You have reached the Glenwood Police Department. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. To reach a city officer, press 6. Or to leave a voicemail for Chief Dale Danter, press 5. Hi, you've reached Chief Dale Danter with the Glenwood Police Department. Sorry I'm not available to take your call. But if you leave your name, number, and a brief message, I'll return your call as soon as possible. Thanks, and have a great day. After the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up to deliver the message or press pound for more options.
Hi, this is Kathy Tangen, and I have a question for you. If I call the police department number, do you have a log right there at the police department of that call? And can you dispatch out a police officer from that call directly? I'm trying to find out how your log system works and what you have right there at your office as far as your recordings of your logs, dispatch logs. So could you call me back at 320-766-6757? Thank you. Bye.
Go.
Okay, it's December 21st, 2012 at 2:41 p.m. Calling Dale Danter at 320-634-4518. Hi, is Dale Danter in?
No, he's not. I can take a message.
Is he making phone calls from someplace today? Because he said he'd call me today.
And who am I talking to?
Kathy Tangen?
Did he tell you that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he called me on Monday, and I asked him if he'd call me on Friday, because that's the first day I had off.
Okay, why don't you give me your number, and I'll call him and tell him to call you.
Where's he at?
Do you know where he's at?
I do not.
Oh.
So if you give me your number, I can call him and tell him.
Is he
Or
still
remind him
on
to call
sick
you.
leave?
Is he working today, though?
Ma'am, if you give me your number, I can give it to him and he can call you.
Okay, well, he told me he'd be working today, that's why.
Okay. So give me your number.
320-766-6757.
Yep. 757. Okay. I'll
Thanks.
make sure he gets the message.
Thanks.
Yep.
Bye. What a snot.
Yeah, no kidding. It's 2:30. Why is she still there? She said she left at 2:30 the other day. Yeah, she's pretty rude.
"2:45 p.m. Dale Danter calling." Hello?
Hi, this is Kathy.
Hi.
Hi, Kathy. This is Dale's Police Department. How are you?
Good.
Good.
See, I had some questions about the letter that was sent to me on, it's dated the 12th of December, 2012.
Okay. I don't have it in front of me, but go ahead.
I had put in a data request on December 6th for the logs for, it was dispatch logs for November 27th, 2012, and they sent a letter back saying, in regards to your request for dispatch logs for 11/27/12, Glenwood Police Department does not generate, maintain, or store any dispatch logs.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, so if you were looking to get those, Kathy, those would have to go to the Sheriff's Department.
Okay, well, like, doesn't, log is equaling just like that's your name for record, right?
No, not necessarily. What phone logs are, as far as like dispatch goes, they maintain a list of any time somebody calls in there to the dispatch center. They write that down in a log that they keep.
So they write that down at the police department?
Nope, not at the police department, at the sheriff's department.
Okay, well, when I called in a reckless driving of a Pizza Ranch car,
Yep.
which Jim Kahn got back to me. Was that logged?
It depends on how it came in. But
You called them.
if you called the police department during the day, was
Yeah.
it during the day? Kathy, or-
Yeah, during the day.
Okay. Yeah. We don't keep a separate log of every call that comes into the police department. If you call them and reported an incident, he would have generated what we call an initial complaint report. That I could get you a copy of.
Oh, so it's called an initial complaint report.
Someone for the 27th. Someone for the
So can I get the initial complaint report for November 27th, 2012?
November 27th, 2012. And you had made a report on that date. Do you recall about what time?
in the morning.
I think it was in the morning.
Well, it was right before school.
And it was in reference to a driving complaint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm talking that Pizza Ranch call, was using that for an example, but on November 27th, that was the reckless driving over there in the fairgrounds with Connor Dolbert, the former county attorney's.
Okay. Yep, so that was when John was working. John Olson was working on that date?
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that call did go into the sheriff's department. And I went over there to make sure, and I checked. What happened with that, Kathy, is the dispatcher that day did not give that call when you called in to our department. What she did is she sent the deputy who was in the office at that time
What's the deputy's
out
name?
on that call.
So the dispatcher didn't call the Glenwood Police Department. They called a sheriff's deputy.
Right, they sent the deputy out.
And do you know who that was?
The deputy that went was Jason Sorensen.
Jason Sorensen?
Correct.
Okay, but when they call,
How come Con didn't tell you that?
You still there?
yeah, I was just wondering why Jim Kahn didn't tell me that. Because it's a Glenwood City matter. Fairgrounds is in the city. So, when Jim.
Yeah, no, we didn't get the call, and I think we never heard about it, Kathy, until you came in with Neil on that date at, I think, 11 something. I think you sat down and met with John.
Okay. Yeah.
The first that our agency had heard of that complaint is when you came in at that time.
I didn't hear that. What did you say again?
I said when you came in and spoke with John
Yep.
later on that date, Officer John Olson,
Yep.
that was the first that our department was advised anything about that complaint.
Okay.
So,
But that it is a city matter, so if the call went into Sheriff Dispatch,
yeah.
wouldn't they normally call you?
It just depends on. I think that the dispatcher at that time felt that the call was probably handled by the deputy going out on it directly from the office. As to why she didn't forward that information, I don't know. But yeah, generally incidences that happen within our city limits are forwarded to us for further investigation. But the sheriff's department can and does investigate, different traffic or related issues or something that they observe in their patrols. They have jurisdiction also in the city. So
Who did you say does that?
the sheriff's department,
Oh.
yeah.
And the surveillance video out at the school, that's handled by the Sheriff's Department also, right?
Correct. We have nothing to do with that. Yeah.
Okay.
So there would be, if you wanted, when you met with John Olson at 11 something or whatever it was, there should be, but I'm not positive unless they would have went off your previous call. But John may have generated an ICR on that. But I know that the sheriff's department did initiate that. So
Okay.
again, you could make a request to them for their logs for that date, their phone logs, as well as if they created what's called an ICR or an incident complaint report.
Okay, well, I'm wondering why Jim Kahn, during that investigation, why didn't he request that surveillance out at the school?
Out at the school?
Yeah, because that would have ID'd that car right away.
I guess I don't know. I don't know what your conversations with Jim have been, and I don't know all the details of that. So that'd be a question that you could ask him, though.
Well, he's the boss. He's supposed to find.
Well, I did talk to Jim Kahn quite in depth about this whole topic, and
Okay.
he pretty much put it off as, it was a professional courtesy that they just contacted the former county attorney, Belvin Dobert, and talked to them before they talked to Connor Dobert, because it was Belvin Dobert's son, Connor, that was actually driving that car.
Okay. I guess I haven't spoke with Jim about it, so.
Okay. So are you pretty much privy to, because you're the boss, you pretty much know, would you normally know what's going on with these investigations?
Not necessarily. Not unless there's an issue with something like that I would have to get involved in. But there's a lot of different investigations going on from day to day that each officers are getting calls and stuff like that. If they don't come in on shifts that I'm not working, I don't necessarily ask them about everything or dictate to them on how they're supposed to do or handle every single call.
But you should have pretty much a constructive knowledge, is that right?
Yeah, I can take a look at, I can go back and review in our record system and stuff that calls have come in.
Okay, well, I'm really requesting that surveillance of Connor Dobert driving into the school right at the same time that I said that he should have been entering the school driveway, going up there. It was right at the same time that I called Jackie Kerwin, and I said within probably 10 minutes he should be driving in. So it would have been a perfect ID, and I'm sure that's on the surveillance.
Yeah, then I would direct that again. I would start with the sheriff's department.
No, it's their job to investigate. He dropped the ball.
What did you say again? I missed it.
I said I would start with that request through the sheriff's department or potentially the
Okay, but what but what really is going on is that it was the responsibility of the Glenwood City Police to investigate that report, and so it's actually the Glenwood City Police that needs to request that surveillance. And if you need to go through the sheriff's, whatever you need to do, but you need to do that.
Yeah, I haven't even checked yet to see if they even recorded. I don't even know if they do.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I truly, honestly, I don't even know if they recorded.
Well, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I don't know. I can check, but
Should have found out a long time ago.
Okay, well, anyways, that I'm wanting that investigation to include the surveillance of Connor Dolbert driving in that morning into the school grounds, and the time frame that he did drive in. It would coincide with when I called and that I said that they were heading out to the school.
okay, sure.
Professional courtesy.
Yeah, I'll check and see if they record that.
Bothers you about that.
Well, and it does bother me that this professional courtesy is more important, actually prime importance, more than the public safety.
I don't know. I find it hard to believe that would be the case, but
These all words.
Well, they said that Connor Dolbert is 18 years of age, so it wasn't that he was underage and they couldn't talk to him or anything like that. They could have at least went and talked to him and asked him if he's running late from school, and if he went through the fairgrounds. They could ask those few questions.
yeah, it's been my understanding, Kathy, that they were advised that his dad or whatever is representing him as his legal counsel, and advised him not to talk to us.
So actually, you do know about the case then.
Yeah, I do. I do know some of it, yes. I told you right from the get-go that when you said there was an issue stating that you felt that there was an issue or something with us not getting the call, I went over there to make sure that the call either did or did not come into our office, and that we either responded to it like we should have, or we didn't.
Okay, well, I feel like that it's a cover up because it's protecting with this professional courtesy, because it's the former county attorney's son, and the surveillance would have easily identified, and it would have been no question, because it would have coincided with my exact phone call, the time and the date, and it would have coincided with the person driving in, and that it was the color car that I described and the type of car I described. And I just feel like it was just, the ball was totally dropped just to cover it up.
Well, I can assure you, Kathy, that there's no cover-up. And what I'll do is I will contact the sheriff's department myself, okay? And I will find out if they do have recordings, if they do keep a recording of the school cameras. And if they do that, I can certainly try to get that information.
Okay, because I did, almost to the day, a week later, he did the same thing, only this time I was behind him instead of oncoming, and I followed him all the way to the school, and I got his license plate. I ID'd him perfectly, so almost a week to the day. It might have been one day off. A week later, I followed Connor Dolbert to the school, ID'd his car and him and the license plate, and he was doing the same thing. He went tearing through that cutoff, and so he did it again after that.
Okay. Did you make a report or anything on that? Or?
Yeah, I did make a report. Jim Kahn has all that information.
Okay.
And also, the other aspect of this whole thing is, right after it happened, my husband Neil went out to the school parking lot and looked for any car that would look like what I described, and there was no officer out there looking at the cars at that time, and he was there right away. And he also went through the fairgrounds and saw the skid marks that I described of both the other car and my car, and even Jim Kahn affirmed those skid marks. They saw them even later in the day. They were so deep and so drastic that they saw them, and they documented that. So everything that is being said, it doesn't really add up. That
Well, again, Kathy, I can't speak to what the deputy's response was that morning when you called. I don't know. I can tell you that, again, they did not pass that information on to our agency at all until the first time that we were made aware of it was when you came in later on that date. So I don't know what their response was. I can't speak to that.
So
But I can tell you, Kathy, again, that, I've dealt with you, several times in the past, and I have always been fair with you. I've always been honest with you, and I think that you would agree with that.
well,
I think that you would agree with that.
well, it does appear that there is some rewriting of history on this, and I don't really believe that it was handled professionally, and this whole thing, because it ended up happened to be Connor Dobert. I think they knew it from day one, and especially the surveillance would have been shown from day one that it was the former county attorney's son, that and that if that's just what they want to do, that they're just doing it because of that. I don't think that's right.
No, and if that's the case, it wouldn't be right. But I can assure you, it makes no difference to me or to anybody from our department, from my department, who it is.
Well, I'd appreciate. I don't know. Could you repeat what that word is? Because you don't call it a log, you call it something else.
Somebody calls us and makes a report of something, and if it's something a matter that we need to get involved in, we create what's called an initial complaint report.
Okay. So it's an initial complaint report. So can I, and I guess, it's just a matter of a play on words, because I use, dispatch log, which I would think that your office would understand that it's what I'm talking about would be
No,
your.
a dispatch log is something that's completely different.
Yeah, but you know what they were looking. You knew you're looking.
But
A dispatch log is which is a real thing. That's a dispatcher's log is they keep a log of all the phone calls and radio traffic that comes in and out of there to them.
But you would know what what I was getting at, right?
No, I didn't. I thought that's what you were referring to. I didn't know that you were looking for a report or something like that.
Okay.
I did not.
That what'd you say?
I said I did not.
Okay. Well, I would like anything and everything that has to do with the Connor Dobert case. And if I'm not using the correct words, I hope from here on out that you understand that's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Well, again, like I said, a lot of that stuff that you're looking for right now was not generated by this office. It would be in the sheriff's department, but
Them that's their investigation.
I will look into the video surveillance and see if they do maintain records or if that's like burned to something, or if they can go back and make copies. I will check on that and I'll let you know.
But you would agree that you are the investigation agency because it happened in the city of Glenwood. Is that right?
We investigate things that happen within the city. But so does the sheriff's department. They assist us, or if they witness something that happened in front of them or whatever, they can act on it as well.
Right. So if you're investigating and the sheriff's office has information you need, then it would be up to you to go over there and get it, right?
If it exists, sure.
Okay. That's all I needed then.
Okay.
Okay.
So again, Kathy, I just want to, I'm not trying to play games with you or trying to jerk you around or cover anything up.
Okay.
That's certainly not the case. I've always been fair with you, and I've always been honest with you. And again, I would think that you would say the same thing.
Okay.
So,
I'd like to get that video from the school.
if it exists, if I can get it, I'll work on that for you. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, it is now 3:05 p.m. December 21st, 2012.